Hi America, my name's James, and on my other channel I'm known as America's Personal Trainer, and I've started a new channel so I can talk to you about politics. I have an issue I want to discuss with you today called government cutbacks and the things that government doesn't want you to know about. It was brought to my attention through somebody I'm not at liberty to disclose, but I was discussing with late last year that this year the government was going to be making more government cutbacks on aid, cash aid, food stamps, and low-income and subsidized housing and insurance. And what this is going to bring about is people are going to be panicking, they're going to be upset, people are going to be running in the streets, there's going to be riots, which has already come about because of the learning institutions are raising the cost of tuition fees and books fees and educational fees of such nature. The government has strategically placed in different areas around the country, especially here in Southern California, military installations getting ready because Homeland Security has already predicted that there would be plenty of civil uprising this year. These government cutbacks are going to be taking place by July. And by early September, late December, should be seeing a lot of this civil uprising. I suspect there's going to be people that are going to be pretty much mimicking the riots of Watts. I hope I'm wrong, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention so you can prepare yourself. This is one reason that on my other channel I discuss people being physically fit and in shape in case they need to self-rescue if you're getting caught in a life and death situation. One of the things I wanted to discuss today was that the government doesn't care about what happens to the American public. I'm not saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist, although I am saying that the government is doing what they're doing for reasons. The government, the United States government, seems to really benefit from chaos. They benefit from war, they benefit from confusion. There's been a lot of that taking place in the last 10 years. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, that I'm just another blowhard who doesn't know what I'm talking about, and that's fine. I would respect that, and I understand that. But what you need to take into your mind and keep and resonate on is the fact that when Obama got into office, he tried to buy his way out of debt, and that didn't work. They're blaming George Bush. They're saying that it's George Bush's fault, that George Bush passed all this debt and all this chaos and all this physical mess to President Obama, and Obama's expected in 4 years in one term to take over and make it all better. I can understand that. I think, in my opinion, it's both the Democrats and the Republicans have worked together simultaneously, either with each other or try to do it against each other. But in any case, the outcome was still the same, is that they have screwed up the economy of this country. America has not in quite some time let a third party run in the elections, in the political races, whether it be, what I mean is they have not allowed somebody like a libertarian. Take Ross Perot for an example. Ross Perot tried to run in the presidential nomination several years back, and for some abrupt reason, all of a sudden, he disappeared off the face of the earth and was no longer involved. And when somebody that's a third party tries to run in between the Democrats and the Republicans, they're being scoffed at, scorned, all kinds of garbage is being brought out in the open about them, and the Democrats and Republicans are both sitting here saying how they're taking votes away from them. So really, in my opinion, both the Democrats and the Republicans are simultaneously responsible for the condition that this country is in today. We need to get ready, just in case. And I'm not saying this has anything to do with the Mayan calendar, per se. And I'm not saying that 2012 is the end of the world. And I'm not waiting for some asteroid, a great earthquake, or some other great thing to happen to this country or to the world to cause the end of the existence of humans or mankind. I'm saying that politically speaking, that I believe that the United States government orchestrated this to come about this year, and I think they're doing it to kind of, you know, the Mayan calendar and all that crap. But anyways, we need to be prepared no matter what's going on, and we need to look at what's going on for what it is. And the political eye, the country is in a complete disaster. People are becoming very angry and anxious. They're stressed. People have lost their jobs or losing their jobs. Companies are going out of business. My other point was that the government seems to prosper and thrive off of chaos and anarchy. When there's war, they seem to thrive. When there's anarchy, they seem to use it as an excuse to take away our civil rights and take away our civil liberties, because people are running wild in the streets. People are selling drugs. Gangs are becoming more popular and a better way to make money. People, breaking the law seems to become more popular. Everybody wants to be a tough guy. The jails are full. The prisons are full. Right now, the only way to make any money in this economy is to either be in the legal system, working in a jail or prison to be law enforcement, or to be in the medical field, and they're both outrageously overcharging. Nobody can afford to be locked up, and if you're locked up when they get out, they can't afford to pay their fees and fines and their penalties to society. And nobody can afford decent health care in this country. Even government-subsidized health care is lousy and expensive. This is another reason for Americans to come together, start growing their own food and produce. Communities coming together, start coming with their own solutions, start talking to local politicians and government offices like city, state, and county. Start putting their own programs together. We need to start looking out for ourselves. We need to start looking out for one another. Stop depending on Big Brother government, because he's not looking out for you. He's wanting to prosper off your poverty, off of your less fortunate. The people are struggling financially from paycheck to paycheck, trying to make ends meet. The guy who's out here busting his butt and can't afford to pay for his insurance or his tags or his license on his vehicle and gets pulled over by a city cop and gets hauled into court and misses a day of work and can't afford to pay the fines, fees, and penalties, then gets a mark on his driver's license and gets his license taken away from him. Instead of them going after the real guy who's a lifetime criminal, who's breaking the law, who's pushing dope on kids, and he's been in and out of prison all his life, cops don't harass or bother that guy. Okay? They got these watchdog groups throughout different parts of the country. They're teaching and encouraging people to rat their neighbor out if they do one thing wrong. Everybody's being taught and told how to snitch each other out, and the economy has put so much stress on everybody that everybody's attacking themselves and attacking each other. What we need to do is calm down, think about what's going on, hold people who are in political power responsible. The government is not looking out for us. The government is looking out for the government. We need to come together, we the people, not them the government. Take control. This is our country. We need to order the government to start doing its job better. Stop cutting the help that we have offered to us, that we've worked so hard to pay taxes for. Stop them from taking this away from us. Get the Republicans and the Democrats to come together and do their job. Start holding these people accountable and responsible for what they're not doing. Stop blaming the Republicans, but blame both of them. Force them to allow a third party to run for government. Stop voting for career politicians to be in office, but pick somebody who's not a career politician and give them a chance to see what they can do. Start listening to other ideas that other people have. There was a guy who was running for president that everybody makes joke about, and they call him Come Over Boy, and he's a filthy millionaire, gazillionaire guy, and I won't mention his name because of legal reasons. He came up with a good idea, and that was to start taxing the Chinese for everything that they're bringing over here to sell on our market, because we owe them so much money. They hold so much of our debt. That would be one sure way to start getting out of debt and our economy to come back. America needs to start becoming a country that makes and builds and produces things and sells them, and Americans need to start buying American products again. And American companies that make these products need to start selling them at a more competitive price. We need to start being able to start our own businesses, become more involved in our own communities, coming up with good ideas. The government needs to start listening to what we need to say. We need to start forcing them to do what we want them to do, not by creating political chaos or anarchy, but exercising our rights, our Fifth Amendment rights for freedom of speech and so on and so forth. We need to start moving forward, going in the right direction, doing the right things, not using violence, not using hatred. Get rid of all of things that put barriers between us as American citizens. Come together and stand together. Demand that the government closes our borders and stop letting people come in here from all parts of the world. And no, I'm not just talking about Mexico. I'm talking everywhere. We can no longer support and help the problem, the financial problems that the world has. We can't even take care of our own people in our own backyard. Listen, America, I may not be the most eloquent speaker. I might not be the most educated person or the sharpest tool in the shed. But it doesn't take anybody with more than half a brain cell to realize that we're losing our rights quicker than we can stand up and fight for them. Everybody's burying their head in the sand like an ostrich and hoping that it'll all go away or change or get better. Everybody's thinking that their one person and their one voice can't do any good, which is wrong. If we all can come together and stand together as one voice like we fought with this pink slime issue, we can be heard and we can make a difference. It doesn't matter about your race, creed, or color. It doesn't matter about your religion. If you're an American and you fought either in the military or you've stood here for your American rights, or you were born here, or you're an American citizen, you have a voice and you have a right for it to be heard. You need to start exercising that right. Start making demands that the government said that they would take care of you. We've given them too much authority and too much power and too much influence in our life. Now they're fining us for no seatbelts. You have to wear helmets. In some states you can't have a gun or you get penalized for that. There's sanctions for this. Next thing you know, if all this stuff is to take place and it blows up in our face, they're going to start invoking martial law. You're going to have to be in your own house by 10 o'clock. Can't be outside before 8 o'clock. I mean, they're just making up all these excuses, and we're giving them these reasons to slowly take away our rights as American citizens. And I'm sick and I'm tired of everybody standing by and letting it happen. You got all these political blowhards that are talking out of their necks, saying they're going to do something, and change is just around the corner, and they never follow through with what they promise the American people because we never hold them accountable for what they do. Well, I'm going to continue to come back with more videos on topics and issues just like this one, and I hope that you guys will vote for my channel. Give me some feedback. I can be contacted at capital HULK 1967. My name's James. God bless America.